Radhe, everybody. A very warm welcome to our Bhagavad Gita study session. Let's start with a prayer to Guru, Lord Krishna, and Radha Rani. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gopikam Paramam Shuddham, Hladinim Shakti Rupini. And over to you, Gagan.
Thank you, Mummy. Radhe Radhe, and a spiritual good morning to one and all, regardless of where you are joining us from. Happy Janmashtami to one and all in this continuing week of celebrations of Lord Krishna's divine birth, where in fact we shall spend a little bit of time both at the beginning and the end of today's session to cover content on that. And of course, the other highlight being today's participants showcase. So first, we're going to get started with a meditation that we hope you all can participate in. But if some of you need to do anything on the side, feel free. But it's going to be in Hindi, and then we're going to have an English version towards the end of class. So double the content for people's benefit, not to have any constraints in case the language is a problem. Feel free to follow along with the visuals, even if you're not able to meditate alongside. And we hope that gets you in that Janmashtami spirit. And as I said, after this first Hindi version, we'll have a couple of our participants. Very diligently, they've been preparing for the participant showcase. So we'll get started with their ones momentarily. So that's the agenda for today. I shall bring up the screen for sharing. And as I said, just make yourselves comfortable and follow along in this first meditation. For those who keep joining later, I might be posting a few messages in the chat window. Hopefully that's not too distracting.
Radhe Radhe. आइए आज जन्माष्टमी के इस पावन अवसर पर श्री कृष्ण जन्म पर ध्यान करते हैं और समझते हैं किस कारणवश श्री कृष्ण ने इस संसार में जन्म लिया। श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि वे अजन्मा हैं और वे इस संसार में अवतार लेते हैं। पूर्वी क्षितिज पर उगते पूर्णिमा के चंद्रमा की तरह देवकी के हृदय से प्रकट हुए। तब वसुदेव ने नवजात शिशु को देखा, जिसकी बहुत अद्भुत कमल जैसी आंखें थीं और जो अपने 4 हाथों में शंख, चक्र, गदा और पद्म धारण किए थे। उसके चेहरे पर एक अनोखी चमक है और उसकी त्वचा छूने पर बहुत नरम और नाजुक है और वह बहुत प्रेम से आपको देख रहा है। आप बच्चे को हृदय से लगाते हैं और एक प्यारे स्वप्न की दुनिया में खो जाते हैं, आने वाले मीठे क्षणों के बारे में सोचते हुए। आपके कानों में बच्चे की किलकारियां गूंज रही हैं और आपकी असीम खुशी का ठिकाना नहीं है। दोनों हाथ जोड़कर नतमस्तक होकर ईश्वरीय कृपा को महसूस करें और उस ईश्वर को धन्यवाद दें। जय श्री कृष्ण। राधे राधे।
Today's other highlight, which is our participants showcase. We have a couple of participants who were able to diligently get their material ready, and they're here with us for their presentations. A few others couldn't make it at really short notice, so we're improvising as we go along. But on that note, we shall go ahead and get the presentations lined up. I'm going to ask out live if that's okay. Bilji, would you like to go first? Is it okay? And I'll unmute you and I'll have your presentation ready.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll explain how we're going to do this.
Absolutely. Yep. Yes. And while I do that, I'll also mention both you, Bilji and Dalji. Thank you for being here to present today. Originally, we had set aside, I think, just about 5 minutes per person, but feel free if you need to take up to 10 minutes. Again, no pressure, whatever works comfortably for each of you. But definitely there's a little bit more luxury from a time perspective. And for everyone's benefit, as we had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I guess, before the Dallas retreat, These presentations are each individual participant's own reflection of their journeys the past few weeks or months or even years from a Bhagavad Gita perspective, more specifically catering to the chapter 7 content and the churn and learn videos that we've done for the past couple of months. At the end of the day, it's really just for each participant to share with us anything that they have learned or a fun fact that they would like to bring across to us or something that they feel that we need to reinforce from an understanding standpoint. So we have two different variations today from our different participants. And as I bring up Bilji's version, we'll soon get into his one. So Bilji, hopefully that's large enough. If you do need me to make it bigger, please feel free to let me know.
Oh, that's fine. I've got it in front of me too. So.
Okay, perfect. So you can get started whenever you are ready.
So I'll read and then make stops and pauses as we wish. And then if people, if as I read, if people have comments or questions, if they could just post them in the chat, and then maybe Gaganji, you could alert me to that. Does that sound
Absolutely.
good?
Yep.
Okay, so we're looking at knowledge, faith, and love. I was particularly struck when we were going through chapter 7 about the sequence of, and I'll read here from the commentary, without knowledge there cannot be faith. Without faith, love cannot grow. So Maharaji and Swamiji have advised us that for faith not to be fragile and susceptible to doubts that might undermine it, it needs to be supported by knowledge. But we must be wary of knowledge that is solely motivated by material desires. Those whose knowledge has been carried away by material desires surrender to the celestial gods. But what knowledge do we specifically need? Let's ask what specifically do we need to have faith in? We need faith in the Guru, we need faith in God, and we need faith in the Holy Scriptures. So what knowledge promotes faith in these three? First of all, faith in the Guru. Faith in the Guru and his teachings. And I have a little asterisk here that's referring at the end to golden rules for living your best life for Swamiji is a treasure trove of chips that for developing our mind, our character, and our spiritual path. And I believe there are 69 sections in the golden rules for living. Each one elucidates on a particular facet of life that is valuable for us to be aware of and to develop. And I recall that I think it was Ben Franklin originally who listed his 13 rules for living his best life. And he took each of those rules, and rather than try to just attack them all at once, he focused on one rule per week or per month. And then he went over and over. So Swamiji has given us a year's worth of, if we want to go week by week, of things we can contemplate on to enhance our life. I'm sure most of you probably already have this book. It's a wonderful book. So faith in the Guru and his teachings develop if we see that we are becoming a better person with his guidance. As a better person, we will be avoiding the mistakes that pollute the mind. As a better person, we'll be making decisions that increase or enhance our spiritual growth. Faith in the Guru will be established when he answers our questions to our satisfaction and removes all doubts we might have. Faith in our Guru will be established when we know that his philosophy is comprehensive and shows us the correct path to reach the goal of God, realization. I'll add a little parenthetical notation here. There are many gurus out there. Some are fake, some are legitimate. There are many spiritual teachers. Again, some are fake, some are legitimate. But one thing I've noticed that none of them have none of them, no matter what their status, they don't lay out a comprehensive philosophy step by step. There's a little piecemeal advice here, there's a little piecemeal commentary here, there's a little piecemeal response here to something. But Swamiji and Guru Maharaji have laid out a comprehensive path for God realization. Nothing is left to chance, nothing is left to doubt. And that's what one of the things that particularly attracted to me to Swamiji when I first came across him. Okay, let's look at faith in God. Faith in God comes with knowledge that solidifies and strengthens our belief in God. This might be material knowledge, such as astrophysics explanation of the astonishing intricacy of the mechanics of the unfoldment of the material universe. This makes it evident that such a complex and delicate process may be divine, by divine God's design. Now, a little remark here. There's a astrophysicist. An astrophysicist is a physicist who studies the unfoldment of the material universe, the Big Bang, you might say. So there's a very notable Christian astrophysicist named Hugh Ross, Hughross. And he's written some wonderful books and articles on this unfoldment of the universe. It happens that with the unfoldment of the universe, if there were not just milliseconds, but nanoseconds of difference in one step of many, 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 many steps, if there was just a nanosecond difference, then everything would have collapsed. Nothing would have continued. So this appreciation that the universe is far more delicate than the workings of a Swiss watch, for example, really can reinforce that in our minds, that this is by divine design. Now, I hope I'm not going too much here, Gagan. All right, we hear about the media viciously attacks what they call creationism, but they never bother to explain. They only focus on one particular aspect of the creationists, and that is the ones who believe that the world was created in 1 week, 6 days, 6,000 or 8,000 years. And they ridicule that and make fun of it. But the other aspect of creationists is the physicists, the scientists like Hugh Ross, who have no problem with an unfoldment of the universe that took billions of years. All they want to point out is that this is by divine design. It's not random happenstance. So his writings are very inspiring if you ever want to take a closer look at that. Any knowledge that gives us a clearer and more complete picture of God, his forms, his leelas, his attributes will increase our faith in God. Now, I thought to maybe pause here is, do any of our participants have any comments or questions about this? Or something they might share, something, a leela or something about God that really struck them and really made their faith in God more pronounced, more solid? Anybody have anything to add here?
So feel free, any participant who would like to volunteer a response to Bilji's comment or question, just raise your hand using the Zoom participant feature and we'll get you off mute. And as he mentioned at the start, you're also welcome to type comments or questions in the Zoom chat window. All right, Delji, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself too.
Hi there. Radha to everyone. Whenever I think about Krishna's Leelas, I think about the one where he's a child and he's with the gopis, and the gopis are collecting cow dung, and they manage to convince him to collect it for them. And so he's willing to do this because they say that they will give him some butter or, some nice treat, some ghee, if he will go ahead and collect it. But then he wants to know, well, how will you know how much butter to give, And so they convince him that he can make marks on his face, bindis, with little pieces of the cow dung. And he agrees to it. He thinks it's a brilliant idea. He tells the gopis, And so in the end, many, many bindis on his cheeks and his forehead. And then some gopis are giggling about the fact that he has so many bindis on his face and how he's agreed to this. And they're just having fun with him lovingly. And then he finds out, that when he looks in the mirror that he has all this on his face. So he just wipes it off and then goes to the gopi to collect his butter. And the gopi says, what butter? There's no account of what's going on. Your face is completely clean. The account has been erased. And he is really upset about this and starts crying, crying out, for what really he's crying out for is love from the gopis. So someone could think that the gopis are being really cruel to him, but the truth of the matter seems to be that Krishna is actually just looking for the love in the form of the butter that was created by the gopis themselves, that ghee that he just really enjoys so much. What he really enjoys even more is just the love that comes with having an intimate relationship like this. So that's my Leela story that I wanted to share. And the reason that it increases faith in God, because listening to it over and over again, at first I thought the gopis were just being mean to him. And then I started to realize as time went on that what it is that Krishna is looking for the love of the gopis. And that helped to increase my faith, because I know that he's really here to love all of us. And that's why I'm sharing it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daleji. And I think, Mummy, I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've heard that a couple of times. It is a really endearing Leela, and maybe Swamiji presented recently as well.
Yeah, just the other day, this new video was released. Yeah, and very beautiful Leela about Sri Krishna and gopis, how they love him, and how that increases their faith further in the Supreme Lord. So, Bilji can go ahead.
Okay, I think Dale brought out a number of beautiful points there, and one of the points you brought out, which I'll jump to, which is at the end of my presentation, is by contemplating the Leela, by contemplating the knowledge, she reached a deeper and deeper understanding of it. And that deeper understanding increased her faith, increased her love. So I think that's a great, I love that example, Dale.
Yeah, that's what she just now said. She said that in the beginning she didn't comprehend or understand it fully, but she saw it again and again, and by contemplating on that knowledge, but natural, her love and faith in God has further increased, right?
Very good. Then we have faith in the Holy Scriptures. Having the meanings of the various scriptures explained by the Guru and seeming inconsistencies, problems, or conflicting meanings resolved. Having the important truths of the scriptures revealed and elucidated by the Guru. So I think one thing that's been brought out was when Maharaji, at the age of 32, spoke before the assembled Vedic scholars. That was what really sort of, you might say, sold them, that he explained the inconsistencies, the conflicting meanings were resolved. And so the Vedas became whole rather than parts. And that ability by our Guru is not only reinforces our faith in the scriptures, but our faith in the Guru. And some books here that I've referenced are Prem Ras Siddhant by Maharajji and Spiritual Dialectics by Swamiji. Now, anybody have any questions here? Any comments on important truths or things that maybe they've heard from Swamiji or from Maharajji that have really struck a chord with them, and or anything of that sort? Anybody want to interject something here?
Feel free if anyone would like to chime in, take a minute or two max before we move over. And in the meantime, I just was jotting very quickly some key highlights from Bilji's wonderful presentation. Please ignore any spelling mistakes, etc. But here we go in the chat window, just a quick summary of some of the key points that he brought up that hopefully all of you can go back and revisit as well.
Also, I might mention, if anybody wants a copy of this presentation for their own use, I'm sure that Gagan can provide it, or I can provide it for you. So looking at spiritual dialectics, here's some of the chapters, some of the questions that Swamiji deals with. One of them is the personal form of God. And if you're not familiar with this book, there are about 120 questions that have been asked by devotees, and Swamiji has compiled them in the different chapters and then responded to each of the questions. And it's just a comprehensive review of the important bits of knowledge of Bhakti Yoga. There's questions about Radharani if we want to understand more about her. Anyway, I highly recommend these books. Now, finally, contemplating the knowledge, as Dale brought out, to establish the knowledge firmly in our mind and intellect, we must contemplate that knowledge over and over. And I think that for me, this has been somewhat of a missing piece, that I don't spend as much time really contemplating to the degree that Dale, for example, did, and I'm sure others of you have done, on a particular aspect of the knowledge to really expand it, enliven, and make it more rich in our mind and in our for our sadhana. So thank you, and that concludes what I have to say. If anybody else has any comments or questions.
Thank you very much, Bilji. Very interesting. And I hope everybody has taken note of all these points which you talked about. And in the interest of time, we will move on to Daleji's presentation now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bilji, once again. And over to you, Daleji. I know you'll be sharing your screen. You have a different variation and something also fun for us. So we'll let you proceed to that.
Thank you, Gaganji. And now I believe I'm unmuted. There we go. Okay. So, Bilji, that was really wonderful. Thank you for helping us to make the connection between receiving knowledge and having faith and stepping into loving God, because that's what this chapter and the Gita and our time together is all about. So it's wonderful. I think you must have done a lot of contemplation to come to present like this. Thank you. So the chapter that we're talking about is chapter 7, which is the Jnana Vijnana Yoga chapter, the yoga through the divine, to the realization of divine knowledge. And I thought it would be fun for us as a group here today to work on a crossword puzzle that refers to the summary in chapter 7 in Swamiji's book, the commentary and that summary, and then also to especially verse 2. And in verse 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and he's telling Arjuna that he now will reveal unto Arjuna fully this knowledge and wisdom, knowing which nothing else remains to be known in this world. So if you have your book, you can check there to connect with some of the clues. It's an open book crossword puzzle solving, but let's do it together. And Gagan, what I'm thinking, if you can help, is that people could raise their hand if they'd like to provide an answer for one of the clues, and then we'll fill it in. And we can start with number 1 across. There's a reference to honey in verse 2. It's used as an example for talking about some of the goodness. But I think even what might be easier is if we start with 4 down in this puzzle. Can anyone tell us who is the sage who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 letters? And
Yeah,
you
and
can
as
raise your
Dilji
hand,
said,
Gagan
please
will
let's
call.
make this a group exercise. So please raise your hand using the Zoom participant feature. We'll get you on audio and you can volunteer responses to these crossword puzzle questions or clues. Please do not hesitate. Don't be shy. Let's fill out as many, in fact, all of the squares as we go along as a group. So as Dilji asked, who is the sage who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam? 7 letters, that's her clue. Hope that helps.
Very interesting presentation, Daleji, and it is going to involve all of us. So Dineshji has raised his hand. Let's hear from him.
Yes, Dinesh.
Vedvyas.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Dineshji. So you can see that's up on the screen now, Vedvyas.
All right. And then maybe that will help us with 1 across, since this is a crossword puzzle, knowing by its taste, especially if you have the text, when you know something by its taste, what type of knowledge is this? That's a big hint.
So you see, in his commentary, Swamiji has given this example, and we can have theoretical knowledge, but we cannot really understand it till you get the answer now.
Yeah, hopefully that's a good clue for people trying this one. This is 1 across, as Dilji said.
Vandana ji, you are coming. Yes, you got the clue. So what is this knowledge?
Bilji, you can go ahead next.
Well, since it's an open book test, I use the open book.
Okay,
Experiential.
Pavitra ji has sent the message. Yeah. Experiential, Pavitra ji. She has sent the message.
Could I suggest that people verbally reply? That might make it more fun for us.
Yes, Bilji. Yes.
Good idea, Bill. Good idea.
Very good idea.
It's great
Yes.
that
It will be very interesting if everybody, opens their video and tells us the answer. Or
Yeah.
even if you come
Okay.
on audio. So here we get experiential knowledge. Okay, very nice. Daleji, you can move forward.
Okay. Then we'll try number 5 across. Direct experiential realization. What is the Sanskrit word for direct experiential realization? What is the title of chapter 7?
Yeah, that's a good hint, Dilji. So again, participants, again, as Bilji said, it's an open book. So use the open book that you hopefully have
Yeah.
access to. And it's both English and Sanskrit, as Dilji said. So this time a Sanskrit word for 5 across. And in the title, perhaps for chapter 7 itself, Dilji has the English title at the top of her crossword puzzle. We're looking for Sanskrit, so even more of a hint. Use your books. Don't feel shy. And please, yes, raise your hand using the Zoom feature. We'll get you on audio. Would be wonderful to hear. Even though these are single words, please tell us your answers verbally. Any takers for 5 across?
It's in the name of the chapter. Use the open book.
All right, Bilji, you can go ahead, please.
Well, I'm not sure about the spelling. Gyan or Vijan. I must be wrong.
I think there's something going on here in the puzzle. I'm not sure what it is, but you've got it right. My compatriot used this word, but it should be Jnana.
Yep.
Vignan.
Vignan.
Vignan. Yes, that is the right answer. The name of the chapter is Jnana Vignan Yog, and Vignan is the other word for experiential. Okay, it is the real wisdom which comes to us with experience. So that is why it is called Vignan. Delji, you can move.
Yes. So the spirit of the crossword puzzle is that we can all solve this together, and I guarantee there will be a colorful conclusion. So so we see how it's working. Some of the clues will be maybe more apparent than others, but let's try spiritual practice. Looks like it starts with S and it's 6 across. Dun 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 dun. And so I'm sure somebody here has a name for spiritual practice that starts with S.
So let's see, David G has raised his
David?
hand. Let's hear from him.
Radhe. That should be sadhana.
Yes, you got it.
Absolutely
Thank
right.
you, David G.
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you, David Ji. Sadhana. You see, it is through sadhana only we can connect with God. So, which is the next one, Delji?
9 across. This would be an English word. Make known to others. If you take a peek at the verse itself, you'll find this word. It's 6 letters. And it starts with R. Make known to others.
And as a
And all you have to do is...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, all you have to do is raise your hand to offer your answer.
And I was reminding everyone that Dilji had said in her introduction that a lot of this is from chapter 7, verse 2. So when she said, look at the verse, that's really where you want to be going. So Bilji, I see Pavitra Ji's hand raised, although you were first. Let's see if she can come on audio, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's go with her.
Then we'll proceed.
Reveal.
Pavitra Ji, a little louder.
That is it.
Reveal.
Yes, please say it.
R-E-V-E-A-L.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay, bravo. Okay, together we're solving the puzzle of yoga through realization of divine knowledge. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Pavitra. And let's try number 10. Devotion to God. What's a 6-letter word for devotion to God? Everybody that's on here today should be able to answer this one.
Let's try David G again. You can go ahead, please.
Bhakti.
Let's see.
So David G has said bhakti.
Bhakti. Yes, that's correct. Okay, we've got 10 across. The team is moving forward.
Yeah, and also thanks to other participants who have sent the message and their correct answer, Bhakti. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's have a little more fun here. And now, what is a 4-letter word for God's material energy?
Let's hear from Vandana ji on audio. Please go ahead, Radhe Radhe.
Maya, M-A-Y-A.
Correct. M-A-Y-A, Maya. Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Vandana ji, Dinesh ji, Bill ji, Pavitra ji, David ji, and everyone. And I hope everybody who hasn't given an answer will now have a chance also going down. And like I said, there's going to be a colorful conclusion to the puzzle. So yeah, we all have something to look forward to. When we do this with kids, we have to provide them prizes, but here it's going to be a visual reward. So we've talked about this a little bit already, especially Meenuji has mentioned this word. So when we talk about honey, and if we have a bottle of honey and it's just kept in the bottle, what type of knowledge would it be of the honey? So it's not experiential knowledge when we know its taste, but if it's just in the bottle, what type of knowledge would we be referring to?
Wendy,
Yes.
Radhe Radhe, you can go ahead.
Theoretical.
Let's try it.
Yes, we are getting the correct
All right.
answers.
Bravo. Thank you, Wayne G. Really appreciate your participation. We'll move on based on that success from Wayne to our next clue, a name for Bhagavan. It's 3, 5, 7 letters. It's got an R in it. It's got an A in it. Because we have a crossword puzzle, we have some hints with the letters.
Pavitra ji, you can go ahead for this one.
Krishna.
You have it correct. Thank you. Radhe Radhe, Pavitra ji.
And we got the correct answer from iPhone also. So iPhone G, if you could mention your name, then we could really thank you for giving the correct answers. In the meantime, Dale Ji, you can move ahead.
Okay, good. So we have number 4 down already. Now number 7 is an English word. If we hear something with thoughtful attention, what are we participating in? In 6 letters, starting with L.
All right, Bilji, you can go ahead for this one, please.
Well, I should know this because Dale G oftentimes mentions it to me. Listen.
Uh-oh. Husband and wife, listen up.
Bilji, did you have that in mind when you wrote the question?
He's
Subconsciously,
always
she
in
probably did.
That's really humorous.
funny.
Thank you so much, Bilji. Yeah.
Okay, so iPhone Ji is telling me his name. It is Ashutosh Ji. So thank you, Ashutosh Ji, for sending us the correct answers on the message. We would really love in future if more participants can come on the video and audio. So we would, you are all giving us best participation. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dale Ji.
Okay, now we have clue number 8, down, quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. When you have experience, knowledge, and good judgment in English, what do you have?
Wenji, you can go ahead for this one.
Wisdom.
Let's try it.
Yes.
All right, very good. The answer, bravo.
And we have last two left
and-
now.
Okay, so don't be shy. Anybody who has not given an answer yet, please try. You have two more chances. And already we have a hand raised.
Yeah,
Is there
Pavitra ji,
anybody?
for 11 down.
Jnana.
So Daleji is going to type that in.
Exactly.
If that works. Yep.
Thank you,
From the
Pavitra
title of the
ji.
chapter, those two. Number 12.
So Pavitra
I'm
ji,
sure Pavitra ji knows this, but isn't there someone else who knows who is this dialogue between in the Bhagavad Gita? Pavitra ji has
Lots of
spoken so
messages
much.
coming.
is there anyone who hasn't spoken yet who can go on audio for this question? We'll keep it different, as Daleji said. It's a really difficult one, but we expect everyone to still get it right. I'm going to ask Manishika ji in case she's able to go on audio. She's been messaging some answers. So Manishika ji, could you tell us the answer here?
It's Arjun.
Arjun. Is it Arjun, Daleji?
Yes, none other than who Krishna's been having the dialogue with. And as promised, there's a colorful ending. So we've turned the whole puzzle green, and we have a beautiful picture of Krishna and Arjun. And thank you so much for participating in this fun exercise to help us, as Gagan has said, churn and learn from our Gita study sessions together, our beautiful, distantly connected satsang. And one last thing is, I would like to ask everyone, and I would like everyone to participate in this. I would like to say, would you like to express gratitude to our facilitators, Minuji and Gaganji, for pulling us together and allowing us to have our attention on the Bhagavad Gita and Swami Mukundanand's commentary on it, and the knowledge of Swami Mukundanand's teacher Maharaji coming in, and so many other things, and even just being together. If you're in favor of that, how about a thumbs up or a nice heart for our facilitators who allow for this to happen and bring us together. Everybody can participate in this. So you just go to your reactions, or if need be, if you don't know where that is, maybe type something in the chat.
Daleji, that's really kind of you, and also all the participants. That's a real humbling surprise. But again, our real duty and pleasure to be able to be part of all this together. The blessings that we have from Swamiji and from God to be able to just be, as you said, we're just facilitators here, but really bringing everyone collectively together and progressing along these journeys for our individual and collective goals of God realization. But again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daleji, for the wonderful presentation, and it involved everybody, and I hope everybody really enjoyed it. We can still extend this invitation to other participants. Next week, still you can come up with your presentations. Let us know beforehand if you want to go ahead with that. And thank you very much, Daleji, Billji. Very interesting presentations. You really worked hard and brought us all together on this platform for this wonderful experience. It was real experiential knowledge today. Great churning and learning by our participants. Thank you so much, and loads of love to all of you with lots of God's grace. And thank you very much to Swamiji for bringing us onto this platform and giving us this opportunity to us like-minded people to be here learning, churning and learning the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. I already see Pranay Mishra ji is there, Vijay ji is there. We did want to do another version, the English version of the meditation, maybe next week we will go ahead with that. And right now, in the interest of time, we'll take blessings from Radharani. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Thank you all for participating. Thank you, Gagan. Thank you, Bilji, Delji. And happy Janmashtami once again.